Act IV of Henry VIII by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. History of Henry VIII. Act IV. Scene 1. A street in Westminster. Enter two gentlemen meeting one another.
You're well met once again.
So are you.
You come to take your stand here and behold the Lady Anne pass from her coronation.
'Tis all my business. At our last encounter the Duke of Buckingham came from his trial.
'Tis very true, but that time offered sorrow, this general joy.
'Tis well. The citizens, I am sure, have shown at full their royal minds. As let 'em have their rights, they are ever forward, in celebration of this day, with shows, pageants, and sights of honor.
Never greater, nor I'll assure you better taken, sir.
May I be bold to ask what that contains, that paper in your hand?
Yes, 'tis the list of those that claim their offices this day by custom of the coronation. The Duke of Suffolk is the first, and claims to be High Steward. Next, the Duke of Norfolk, he to be Earl Marshal. You may read the rest.
I thank you, sir. Had I not known those customs, I should have been beholding to your paper. But I beseech you, what's become of Catherine, the Princess Dowager? How goes her business?
That I can tell you too. The Archbishop of Canterbury, accompanied with other learned and reverend fathers of his order, held a late court at Dunstable, 6 miles off from Ampthill, where the princess lay, to which she was often cited by them, but appeared not, and to be short for not appearance in the king's late scruple, by the main assent of all these learned men she was divorced, and the late marriage made of none effect, since which she was removed to Kimbleton, where she remains now sick.
Alas, good lady!
Trumpets.
The trumpets sound. Stand close, the queen is coming.
Hot boys. The order of the coronation. 1. A lively flourish of trumpets. 2. Then 2 judges. 3. Lord Chancellor, with the purse and mace before him. 4. Choristers singing. Music. 5. Mayor of London, bearing the mace. Then Garter in his coat of arms, and on his head a gilt copper crown. 6. Marquess Dorset, bearing a sceptre of gold, on his head a demi-coronal of gold. With him Surrey, bearing the rod of silver with the dove, crowned with an earl's coronet. Collars of SS. 7. Suffolk, in his robe of estate, his coronet on his head, bearing a long white wand as High Steward. With him Norfolk, with the rod of marshalship, a coronet on his head. Collars of SS. 8. A canopy borne by 4 of the Cinque-Ports, under it Queen Anne in her robe. In her hair, richly adorned with pearl, crowned. On each side her, the Bishops of London and Winchester. 9. The old Duchess of Norfolk in a coronal of gold, wrought with flowers, bearing Queen Anne's train. 10. Certain ladies or countesses, with plain circlets of gold without flowers. They pass over the stage in order and state.
A royal train, believe me. These I know. Who's that bears the sceptre?
Marquis Dorset, and that the Earl of Surrey with the rod.
A bold, brave gentleman. That should be the Duke of Suffolk?
'Tis the same, High Steward.
And that my Lord of Norfolk?
Yes.
Heaven bless thee!
Looking on Queen Anne.
Thou hast the sweetest face I ever looked on. Sir, as I have a soul, she is an angel. Our king has all the Indies in his arms, and more the richer, when he strains that lady. I cannot blame his conscience.
They that bear the cloth of honour over her are 4 barons of the Cinque-Ports.
Those men are happy, and so are near her. I take it she that carries up the train is that old noble lady, Duchess of Norfolk.
It is, and all the rest are countesses.
Their coronets say so. These are stars indeed, and sometimes falling ones.
No more of that.
Exit procession, and then a great flourish of trumpets. Enter a 3rd gentleman.
God save you, sir, where have you been broiling?
Among the crowd i' the abbey, where a finger could not be wedged in more. I am stifled with the mere rankness of their joy.
You saw the ceremony?
That I did.
How was it?
Well worth the seeing.
Good sir, speak it to us.
As well as I am able. The rich stream of lords and ladies, having brought the Queen to a prepared place in the choir, fell off a distance from her, while her Grace sat down to rest a while, some half an hour or so, in a rich chair of state, opposing freely the beauty of her person to the people. Believe me, sir, she is the goodliest woman that ever lay by man. Which when the people had the full view of, such a noise arose as the shrouds make at sea in a stiff tempest, as loud and to as many tunes. Hats, cloaks, doublets, I think, flew up, and had their faces been loose, this day they had been lost. Such joy I never saw before. Great bellied women that had not half a week to go, like rams in the old time of war, would shake the press, and make 'em reel before 'em. No man living could say, "This is my wife," there. All were woven so strangely in one piece.
But what followed?
At length her Grace rose, and with modest paces came to the altar, where she kneeled, and saint-like cast her fair eyes to heaven and prayed devoutly, then rose again and bowed her to the people, when by the Archbishop of Canterbury she had all the royal makings of a queen, as holy oil, Edward Confessor's crown, the rod and bird of peace, and all such emblems laid nobly on her. Which performed, the choir, with all the choicest music of the kingdom, together sung Te Deum. So she parted, and with the same full state paced back again to York Place, where the feast is held.
Sir, you must no more call it York Place, that's past. For since the Cardinal fell, that title's lost. 'Tis now the King's, and called Whitehall.
I know it, but 'tis so lately altered, that the old name is fresh about me.
What two reverend bishops were those that went on each side of the Queen?
Stokesley and Gardiner, the one of Winchester, newly preferred from the King's secretary, the other London.
He of Winchester is held no great good lover of the archbishops, the virtuous Cranmer.
All the land knows that. However, yet there is no great breach. When it comes, Cranmer will find a friend will not shrink from him.
Who may that be, I pray you?
Thomas Cromwell, a man in much esteem with the King, and truly a worthy friend. The King has made him master of the Jewel House, and one already of the Privy Council.
He will deserve more.
Yes, without all doubt. Come, gentlemen, ye shall go my way, which is to the court, and there ye shall be my guests. Something I can command. As I walk thither, I'll tell ye more.
You may command us, sir.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Kimbolton. Enter Catherine, dowager, sick, led between Griffith, her gentleman usher, and Patience, her woman.
How does your grace?
O Griffith, sick to death, my legs like loaden branches bow to the earth, willing to leave their burden. Reach a chair. So now methinks I feel a little ease. Didst thou not tell me, Griffith, as thou ledst me, that the great child of honour, Cardinal Wolsey, was dead?
Yes, madam, but I think your grace, out of the pain you suffered, gave no ear to it.
Prithee, good Griffith, tell me how he died. If well, he stepped before me, happily for my example.
Well, the voice goes, madam, for after the stout Earl Northumberland arrested him at York, he brought him forward, as a man sorely tainted, to his answer. He fell sick suddenly, and grew so ill he could not sit his mule.
Alas, poor man!
At last, with easy roads, he came to Leicester, lodged in the abbey, where the reverend abbot, with all his covent, honourably received him, to whom he gave these words: "Oh, Father Abbot, an old man, broken with the storms of state, is come to lay his weary bones among ye. Give him a little earth for charity." So went to bed, where eagerly his sickness pursued him still, and 3 nights after this, about the hour of 8, which he himself foretold should be his last, full of repentance, continual meditations, tears, and sorrows, he gave his honours to the world again, his blessed part to heaven, and slept in peace.
So may he rest. His faults lie gently on him. Yet thus far, Griffith, give me leave to speak him, and yet with charity. He was a man of an unbounded stomach, ever ranking himself with princes, one that by suggestion tied all the kingdom. Simony was fair play, his own opinion was his law. I' the presence he would say untruths, and be ever double both in his words and meaning. He was never, but where he meant to ruin, pitiful. His promises were, as he was then, mighty, but his performance, as he is now, nothing. Of his own body he was ill, and gave the clergy an example.
Noble madam, men's evil manners live in brass, their virtues we write in water. May it please your highness to hear me speak his good now?
Yes, good Griffith, I were malicious else.
This cardinal, though from an humble stock, undoubtedly was fashioned to much honour from his cradle. He was a scholar, and a ripe and good one, exceeding wise, fair-spoken, and persuading, lofty and sour to them that loved him not, but to those men that sought him sweet as summer. And though he was unsatisfied in getting, which was a sin, yet in bestowing, madam, he was most princely. Ever witness for him those twins of learning that he raised in you, Ipswich and Oxford, one of which fell with him, unwilling to outlive the good that it did. The other, though unfinished, yet so famous, so excellent in art, and still so rising, that Christendom shall ever speak his virtue. His overthrow heaped happiness upon him, for then, and not till then, he felt himself, and found the blessedness of being little, and, to add greater honours to his age than man could give him, he died fearing God.
After my death I wish no other herald, no other speaker of my living actions, to keep mine honour from corruption, but such an honest chronicler as Griffith, whom I most hated living. Thou hast made me, with thy religious truth and modesty, now in his ashes honour. Peace be with him. Patience, be near me still, and set me lower. I have not long to trouble thee. Good Griffith, cause the musicians play me that sad note I named my knell, whilst I sit meditating on that celestial harmony I go to.
Sad and solemn music.
She is asleep. Good wench, let's sit down quiet, for fear we wake her. Softly, gentle Patience.
The vision. Enter, solemnly tripping one after another, 6 personages, clad in white robes, wearing on their heads garlands of bays, and golden vizards on their faces, branches of bays or palm in their hands. They first conjure unto her, then dance, and at certain changes, the first 2 hold a spare garland over her head, at which the other 4 make reverent curtsies. Then the 2 that held the garland deliver the same to the other next 2, who observe the same order in their changes, and holding the garland over her head; which done, they deliver the same garland to the last 2, who likewise observe the same order; at which, as it were by inspiration, she makes in her sleep signs of rejoicing, and holdeth up her hands to heaven; and so in their dancing vanish, carrying the garland with them. The music continues.
Spirits of peace, where are ye? Are ye all gone, and leave me here in wretchedness behind ye?
Madam, we are here.
It is not you I call for. Saw ye none enter since I slept?
None, madam.
No? Saw you not even now a blessed troop invite me to a banquet, whose bright faces cast 1,000 beams upon me like the sun? They promised me eternal happiness, and brought me garlands, Griffith, which I feel I am not worthy yet to wear. I shall assuredly.
I am most joyful, madam. Such good dreams possess your fancy.
Bid the music leave, they are harsh and heavy to me.
Music ceases.
Do you note how much her grace is altered on the sudden? How long her face is drawn? How pale she looks, and of an earthy cold. Mark her eyes.
She is going, wench. Pray, pray.
Heaven comfort her.
Enter a messenger.
And like your grace.
You are a saucy fellow. Deserve we no more reverence?
You are to blame, knowing she will not lose her wonted greatness, to use so rude behaviour. Go to, kneel.
I humbly do entreat your highness pardon. My haste made me unmannerly. There is staying a gentleman sent from the king to see you.
Admit him entrance, Griffith, but this fellow let me ne'er see again.
Exeunt Griffith and messenger. Re-enter Griffith with Capucius.
If my sight fail not, you should be Lord Ambassador from the Emperor, my royal nephew. And your name, Capucius?
Madame, the same, your servant.
O my lord, the times and titles now are altered strangely with me since first you knew me. But I pray you, what is your pleasure with me?
Noble lady, first mine own service to your grace, the next, the king's request that I would visit you, who grieves much for your weakness, and by me sends you his princely commendations, and heartily entreats you take good comfort.
O my good lord, that comfort comes too late. 'Tis like a pardon after execution. That gentle physic given in time had cured me. But now I am past the comfort here. But prayers, how does his highness?
Madame, in good health.
So may he ever do, and ever flourish, when I shall dwell with worms, and my poor name banished the kingdom. Patience, is that letter I caused you write yet sent away?
No, madam.
Giving it to Catherine.
Sir, I most humbly pray you to deliver this to my lord the king.
Most willing, madame.
In which I have commended to his goodness the model of our chaste loves, his young daughter. The dews of heaven fall thick in blessings on her, beseeching him to give her virtuous breeding. She is young, and of a noble modest nature. I hope she will deserve well, and a little to love her, for her mother's sake, that loved him heaven knows how dearly. My next poor petition is that his noble grace would have some pity upon my wretched women, that so long have followed both my fortunes faithfully, of which there is not one I dare avow, and now I should not lie, but will deserve for virtue and true beauty of the soul, for honesty and decent carriage, a right good husband. Let him be a noble, and sure those men are happy that shall have him. The last is for my men. They are the poorest, but poverty could never draw 'em from me, that they may have their wages duly paid them, and something over to remember me by. If heaven had pleased to have given me longer life and able means, we had not parted thus. These are the whole contents, and good my lord, by that you love the dearest in this world, as you wish Christian peace to souls departed, stand these poor people's friend, and urge the king to do me this last right.
By heaven I will, or let me lose the fashion of a man.
I thank you, honest lord. Remember me in all humility unto his highness. Say his long trouble now is passing out of this world. Tell him in death I blessed him, for so I will. Mine eyes grow dim. Farewell, my lord. Griffith, farewell. Nay, Patience, you must not leave me yet. I must to bed. Call in more women. When I am dead, good wench, let me be used with honour. Strew me over with maiden flowers, that all the world may know I was a chaste wife to my grave. Embalm me, then lay me forth. Although unqueened, yet like a queen, and daughter to a king, inter me. I can no more.
Exeunt, leading Catherine. End of Act 4. Act 5 of Henry VIII by William Shakespeare. This is a LibriVox recording. All LibriVox recordings are in the public domain. For more information or to volunteer, please visit LibriVox.org. History of Henry VIII, Act 5. Scene 1. London. A gallery in the palace. Enter Gardiner, Bishop of Winchester, a page with a torch before him, met by Lavelle.
It's 1 o'clock, boy, is it not?
It hath struck.
These should be hours for necessities, not for delights. Times to repair our nature with comforting repose, and not for us to waste these times. Good hour of the night, Sir Thomas. Whither so late?
Came you from the king, my lord?
I did, Sir Thomas, and left him at Primero with the Duke of Suffolk.
I must to him too, before he goes to bed. I'll take my leave.
Not yet, Sir Thomas Lovell. What's the matter? It seems you are in haste, and if there be no great offence belongs to it, give your friend some touch of your late business. Affairs that walk, as they say spirits do at midnight, have in them a wilder nature than the business that seeks dispatch by day.
My lord, I love you, and durst commend a secret to your ear, much weightier than this work. The queen's in labour, they say, in great extremity, and feared she'll with the labour end.
The fruit she goes with, I pray for heartily, that it may find good time and live. But for the stock, Sir Thomas, I wish it grubbed up now.
Methinks I could cry the Amen, and yet my conscience says she's a good creature, and, sweet lady, does deserve our better wishes.
But, sir, hear me, Sir Thomas. You're a gentleman of mine own way. I know you wise, religious. And let me tell you, it will ne'er be well. 'Twill not, Sir Thomas Lovell, take it of me, till Cranmer, Cromwell, her 2 hands, and she sleep in their graves.
Now, sir, you speak of 2 the most remarked i' the kingdom. As for Cromwell, beside that of the jewel house, is made master of the rolls, and the king's secretary. Further, sir, stands in the gap and trade of mo preferments, with which the time will load him. The Archbishop is the king's hand and tongue, and who dare speak one syllable against him?
Yes, Sir Thomas, there are that dare, and I myself have ventured to speak my mind of him. And indeed this day, sir, I may tell it you, I think I have incensed the lords of the council that he is, for so I know he is, they know he is, a most arch heretic, a pestilence that does infect the land, with which they, moved, have broken with the king, who hath so far given ear to our complaint. Of his great grace and princely care, foreseeing those fell mischiefs our reasons laid before him, hath commanded to-morrow morning to the council board he be convented. He's a rank weed, Sir Thomas, and we must root him out. From your affairs I hinder you too long. Good night, Sir Thomas.
Many good nights, my lord. I rest your servant.
Exeunt Gardiner and Page. Enter King Henry VIII and Suffolk.
Charles, I will play no more to-night. My mind's not on't. You are too hard for me.
Sir, I did never win of you before.
But little, Charles, nor shall not, when my fancy's on my play. Now, Lovell, from the Queen, what is the news?
I could not personally deliver to her what you commanded me, but by her woman I sent your message, who returned her thanks in the greatest humbleness, and desired your highness most heartily to pray for her.
What say'st thou? Ha? To pray for her? What, is she crying out?
So said her woman, and that her sufferance made almost each pang a death.
Alas, good lady!
God safely quit her of her burden, and with gentle travail to the gladding of your highness with an air.
'Tis midnight, Charles. Prithee to bed, and in thy prayers remember the estate of my poor queen. Leave me alone, for I must think of that which company would not be friendly to.
I wish your highness a quiet night, and my good mistress will remember in my prayers.
Charles, good night.
Exit Suffolk. Enter Denny.
Well, sir, what follows?
Sir, I have brought my lord the Archbishop, as you commanded me.
Ah, Canterbury?
Ay, my good lord.
'Tis true. Where is he, Denny?
He attends your highness' pleasure.
Exit Denny. Aside.
This is about that which the bishop spake. I am happily come hither.
Re-enter Denny with Cranmer.
Avoid the gallery.
Lavelle seems to stay.
Ah, I have said, begone. What?
Exeunt Lavelle and Denny. Aside.
I am fearful. Wherefore frowns he thus? 'Tis his aspect of terror. All's not well.
How now, my lord? You desire to know wherefore I sent for you.
Kneeling.
It is my duty to attend your highness' pleasure.
Pray you arise, my good and gracious Lord of Canterbury. Come, you and I must walk a turn together. I have news to tell you. Come, come, give me your hand. Ah, my good lord, I grieve at what I speak, and am right sorry to repeat what follows. I have, and most unwillingly, of late heard many grievous, I do say, my lord, grievous complaints of you, which, being considered, have moved us and our council, that you shall this morning come before us, where I know you cannot with such freedom purge yourself, but that till further trial in those charges which will require your answer, you must take your patience to you, and be well contented to make your house our tower. You a brother of us, it fits we thus proceed, or else no witness would come against you.
Kneeling.
I humbly thank your highness, and am right glad to catch this good occasion most throughly to be winnowed, where my chaff and corn shall fly asunder, for I know there's none stands under more calumnious tongues than I myself, poor man.
Stand up, good Canterbury. Thy truth and thy integrity is rooted in us, thy friend. Give me thy hand. Stand up. Prithee, let's walk. Now, by my holidam, what manner of man are you? My lord, I looked you would have given me your petition, that I should have ta'en some pains to bring together yourself and your accusers, and to have heard you without endurance further.
Most dread liege, the good I stand on is my truth and honesty. If they shall fail, I with mine enemies will triumph o'er my person, which I weigh not, being of those virtues vacant. I fear nothing what can be said against me.
Know you not how your state stands in the world with the whole world? Your enemies are many and not small. Their practices must bear the same proportion, and not ever the justice and the truth of the question carries the due of the verdict with it. At what ease might corrupt minds procure knaves as corrupt to swear against you? Such things have been done. You are prudently opposed, and with a malice as of great size. Win you better luck, I mean in perjured witness, than your master, whose minister you are, whiles here he lived upon this naughty earth? Go to, go to. You take a precipice for no leap of danger, and woo your own destruction.
God and your majesty protect mine innocence, or I fall into the trap is laid for me.
Be of good cheer. They shall no more prevail than we give way to. Keep comfort to you, and this morning see you do appear before them. If they shall chance, in charging you with matters to commit you, the best persuasions to the contrary fail not to use, and with what vehemency the occasion shall instruct you. If entreaties will render you no remedy, this ring deliver them, and your appeal to us there make before them. Look, the good man weeps. He's honest, upon mine honour. God's blessed mother, I swear he is true-hearted, and a soul none better in my kingdom. Get you gone, and do as I have bid you.
Exit Cranmer.
He has strangled his language in his tears.
Enter old lady, Lavelle following. Within.
Come back? What mean you?
I'll not come back. The tidings that I bring will make my boldness manners. Now, good angels, fly o'er thy royal head, and shade thy person under their blessed wings.
Now, by thy looks, I guess thy message. Is the queen delivered? Say aye, and of a boy.
Eh? Eh, my liege. And of a lovely boy. The God of heaven, both now and ever bless her. 'Tis a girl, promises boy hereafter. Sir, your queen desires your visitation, and to be acquainted with this stranger. 'Tis as like you, as cherry is to cherry.
Lovell,
Sir?
give her 100 marks. I'll to the queen.
Exit.
100 marks. By this light I'll more. An ordinary groom is for such payment. I will have more, or scold it out of him. Said I for this the girl was like to him? I will have more, or else unsay it. And now, while it is hot, I'll put it to the issue.
Exeunt. Scene 2. Before the council chamber. Pursuivants, pages, etc. attending. Enter Cranmer.
I hope I am not too late, and yet the gentleman that was sent to me from the council prayed me to make great haste. All fast! What means this? Ho, who waits there? Sure you know me.
Enter Keeper.
Yes, my lord, but yet I cannot help you.
Why?
Enter Dr. Butts.
Your grace must wait till you be called for.
So.
Aside.
This is a piece of malice. I am glad I came this way so happily. The king shall understand it presently.
Exit. Aside.
'Tis Butts, the king's physician. As he passed along, how earnestly he cast his eyes upon me. Pray heaven he sound not my disgrace. For certain this is of purpose laid by some that hate me. God turn their hearts, I never sought their malice, to quench mine honour. They would shame to make me wait else at door, a fellow counsellor, 'mong boys, grooms, and lackeys. But their pleasures must be fulfilled, and I attend with patience.
Enter King Henry VIII and Dr. Butts at a window above.
I'll show your grace the strangest sight.
What's that, Butts?
I think your highness saw this many a day.
Body of me, where is it?
There, my lord. The high promotion of his Grace of Canterbury, who holds his state at door, 'mongst pursuivants, pages, and footboys.
Ah, 'tis he indeed. Is this the honour they do one another? 'Tis well there's one above 'em yet. I had thought they had parted so much honesty among 'em, at least good manners, as not thus to suffer a man of his place, and so near our favour, to dance attendance on their lordships' pleasures, and at the door too, like a post with packets. By Holy Mary, Butts, there's knavery. Let him alone, and draw the curtain close. We shall hear more anon.
Exeunt. Scene 3. The council chamber. Enter Chancellor, places himself at the upper end of the table on the left hand, a seat being left and void above him, as for Cranmer's seat. Suffolk, Norfolk, Surrey, Chamberlain, and Gardiner seat themselves in order on each side. Cromwell at lower end as secretary. Keeper at the door.
Speak to the business, Master Secretary. Why are we met in council?
Please your honours, the chief cause concerned his Grace of Canterbury.
Has he had knowledge of it?
Yes.
Who waits there?
Without, my noble lords?
Yes.
My lord Archbishop, and has done half an hour to know your pleasures.
Let him come in.
Your grace may enter now.
Cranmer enters and approaches the council table.
My good Lord Archbishop, I'm very sorry to sit here at this present, and behold that chair stand empty. But we all are men, in our own natures frail, and capable of our flesh. Few are angels, out of which frailty and want of wisdom, you, that best should teach us, have misdemeaned yourself, and not a little, toward the king first, then his laws, in filling the whole realm by your teaching and your chaplains, for so we are informed, with new opinions, diverse and dangerous, which are heresies, and, not reformed, may prove pernicious.
Which reformation must be sudden too, my noble lords, for those that tame wild horses pace 'em not in their hands to make 'em gentle, but stop their mouths with stubborn bits, and spur 'em till they obey the manage. If we suffer, out of our easiness and childish pity, to one man's honour, this contagious sickness, farewell all physic. And what follows then? Commotions, uproars, with a general taint of the whole state, as of late days our neighbours, the Upper Germany, can dearly witness, yet freshly pitied in our memories.
My good lords, hitherto, in all the progress both of my life and office, I have laboured, and with no little study, that my teaching and the strong course of my authority might go one way, and safely. And the end was ever to do well. Nor is there living, I speak it with a single heart, my lords, a man that more detests, more stirs against, both in his private conscience and his place, defacers of a public peace, than I do. Pray heaven the king may never find a heart with less allegiance in it. Men that make envy and crooked malice nourishment dare bite the best. I do beseech your lordships that in this case of justice my accusers, be what they will, may stand forth face to face and freely urge against me.
Nay, my lord, that cannot be. You are a counsellor, and by that virtue no man dare accuse you.
My lord, because we have business of more moment, we will be short with you. 'Tis his highness' pleasure, and our consent, for better trial of you, from hence ye be committed to the Tower, where, being but a private man again, you shall know many dare accuse you boldly, more than, I fear, you are provided for.
Ah, my good Lord of Winchester, I thank you. You are always my good friend. If your will pass, I shall both find your lordship judge and juror. You are so merciful. I see your end, 'tis my undoing. Love and meekness, Lord, become a churchman better than ambition. Win straying souls with modesty again, cast none away. That I shall clear myself, lay all the weight ye can upon my patience. I make as little doubt as you do conscience in doing daily wrongs. I could say more, but reverence to your calling makes me modest.
My lord, you are a sectary. That's the plain truth. Your painted gloss discovers to men that understand you words and weakness.
My lord of Winchester, you are a little, by your good favour, too sharp. Men so noble, however faulty, yet should find respect for what they have been. 'Tis a cruelty to load a falling man.
Good master secretary, I cry your honour mercy. You may, worst of all this table, say so.
Why, my lord?
Do not I know you for a favourer of this new sect? Ye are not sound.
Not sound?
Not sound, I say.
Would you were half so honest. Men's prayers then would seek you, not their fears.
I shall remember this bold language.
Do. Remember your bold life, too.
This is too much. Forbear. For shame, my lords.
I have done.
And I.
Then thus for you, my lord. It stands agreed, I take it, by all voices, that forthwith you be conveyed to the Tower a prisoner, there to remain till the king's further pleasure be known unto us. Are you all agreed, lords?
We are.
Is there no other way of mercy, but I must needs to the Tower, my lords?
What other would you expect? You are strangely troublesome. Let some of the guard be ready there.
Enter guard.
For me, must I go like a traitor thither?
Receive him, and see him safe in the Tower.
Stay, good my lords, I have a little yet to say. Look there, my lords, by virtue of that ring, I take my cause out of the gripes of cruel men, and give it to a most noble judge, the king my master.
This is the king's ring.
'Tis no counterfeit.
'Tis the right ring, by heaven. I told ye all, when you first put this dangerous stone a-rolling, 'twould fall upon ourselves.
Do you think, my lords, the king will suffer but the little finger of this man to be vexed?
'Tis now too certain. How much more is his life in value with him? Would I were fairly out on't.
My mind gave me, in seeking tales and informations against this man, whose honesty the devil and his disciples only envy at. Ye blew the fires that burn ye. Now have at ye.
Enter King, frowning on them, takes his seat.
Dread sovereign, how much we are bound to heaven in daily thanks that gave us such a prince, not only good and wise, but most religious, one that in all obedience makes the church the chief aim of his honour, and to strengthen that holy duty out of dear respect, his royal self in judgment comes to hear the cause betwixt her and this great offender.
You are ever good at sudden commendations, Bishop of Winchester. But no, I come not to hear such flattery now, and in my presence. They are too thin and bare to hide offences. To me you cannot reach. You play the spaniel, and think with wagging of your tongue to win me. But whatsoever thou takest me for, I'm sure thou hast a cruel nature and a bloody.
To Cranmer.
Good man, sit down. Now let me see the proudest, he that dares most, but wag his finger at thee. By all that's holy, he had better starve than but once think this place becomes thee not.
May it please your grace.
No, sir, it does not please me. I had thought I had had men of some understanding and wisdom of my counsel, but I find none. Was it discretion, lords, to let this man, this good man, few of you deserve that title, this honest man, wait like a lousy footboy at chamber door, and one as great as you are? Why, what a shame was this! Did my commission bid ye so far forget yourselves? I gave ye power as he was a counsellor to try him, not as a groom. The some of ye, I see, more out of malice than integrity, would try him to the utmost had ye mean which ye shall never have while I live.
Thus far, my most dread sovereign, may it like your grace to let my tongue excuse all. What was purposed concerning his imprisonment was rather, if there be faith in men, meant for his trial, and fair purgation to the world, than malice, I'm sure, in me.
Well, well, my lords, respect him, take him, and use him well. He's worthy of it. I will say thus much for him, if a prince may be beholding to a subject, I am, for his love and service, so to him. Make me no more ado, but all embrace him. Be friends for shame, my lords. My Lord of Canterbury, I have a suit which you must not deny me, that is, a fair young maid that yet wants baptism. You must be godfather, and answer for her.
The greatest monarch now alive may glory in such an honour. How may I deserve it, that am a poor and humble subject to you?
Come, come, my lord, you'd spare your spoons. You shall have two noble partners with you, the old Duchess of Norfolk and the Marquess Dorset. Will these please you? Once more, my Lord of Winchester, I charge you embrace and love this man.
With a true heart and brother love I do it.
And let heaven witness how dear I hold this confirmation.
Good man, those joyful tears show thy true heart. The common voice I see is verified of thee, which says thus, do my Lord of Canterbury a shrewd turn, and he is your friend for ever. Come, lords, we trifle time away. I long to have this young one made a Christian. As I have made ye one, lords, one remain. So I grow stronger, you more honour gain.
Exeunt. Scene 4. The Palace Yard. Noise and tumult within. Enter Porter and his man.
You leave your noise alone, you rascals. Do you take the court for Paris Garden? Ye rude slaves, leave your gaping.
Within.
Good Master Porter, I belong to the larder.
Belong to the gallows and be hanged, ye rogue. Is this a place to roar in? Fetch me a dozen crabtree staves and strong uns. These are but switches to 'em. I'll scratch your heads. You must be seeing christenings. Do you look for ale and cakes here, you rude rascals?
Pray, sir, be patient. 'Tis as much impossible, unless we sweep 'em from the door with cannons, to scatter 'em, as 'tis to make 'em sleep on May Day morning, which will never be. We may as well push against Powell's as stir 'em.
How got they in, and be hanged?
Alas, I know not. How gets the tide in? As much as one sound cudgel of 4 foot. You see the poor remainder. Could distribute. I make no spare, sir.
You did nothing, sir.
I am not Samson, nor Sir Guy, nor Colbrand, to mow 'em down before me. But if I spared any that had a head to hit, either young or old, he or she, cuckold or cuckold maker, let me ne'er hope to see a chine again, and that I would not for a cow. God save her.
Within.
Do you hear, Master Porter?
I shall be with you presently, good Master Puppy. Keep the door closed, sirrah.
What would you have me do?
What should you do but knock 'em down by the dozens? Is this more fields to muster in, or have we some strange Indian with a great tool come to court, the women so besiege us? Bless me, what a fry of fornication is at door! On my Christian conscience, this one christening will beget 1,000. Here will be mother, godfather, and all together.
The spoons will be the bigger, sir. There is a fellow somewhat near the door. He should be a brazier by his face, for, o' my conscience, 20 of the dog days now reign in's nose. All that stand about him are under the line. They need no other penance. That fire-drake did I hit 3 times on the head, and 3 times was his nose discharged against me. He stands there like a mortar-piece, to blow us. There was a haberdasher's wife of small wit near him, that railed upon me till her pink porringer fell off her head, for kindling such a combustion in the state. I missed the meteor once, and hit that woman, who cried out clubs, when I might see from far some 40 truncheoners draw to her succour, which were the hope of the Strand, where she was quartered. They fell on. I made good my place. At length they came to the broom-staff to me. I defied 'em still, when suddenly a file of boys behind 'em, loose shot, delivered such a shower of pebbles that I was fain to draw mine honour in, and let 'em win the work. The devil was amongst 'em, I think, surely.
These are the youths that thunder at a playhouse, and fight for bitten apples, that no audience but the tribulation of Tower Hill, or the limbs of Limehouse, their dear brothers, are able to endure. I have some of them in limbo patrum, and there they are like to dance these 3 days. Besides the running banquet of 2 beadles that is to come.
Enter Chamberlain.
Mercy o' me, what a multitude are here! They grow still, too. From all parts they are coming, as if we kept a fair here. Where are these porters, these lazy knaves? You have made a fine hand, fellows. There's a trim rabble let in. Are all these your faithful friends of the suburbs? We shall have great store of room, no doubt, left for the ladies when they pass back from the christening.
And please your honour, we are but men, and what so many may do, not being torn a pieces, we have done. An army cannot rule 'em.
As I live, if the king blame me for it, I'll lay ye all by the heels, and suddenly, and on your heads clap round fines for neglect. Ye are lazy knaves, and here ye lie baiting of bombards, when ye should do service. Hark, the trumpets sound, they're come already from the christening. Go, break among the press, and find a way out to let the troop pass fairly, or I'll find a marshalsea shall hold ye play these 2 months.
Make way there for the princess.
You great fellow, stand close up, or I'll make your head ache.
You in the camlet, get up o'er the rail. I'll pick you all the pails else.
Exeunt. Scene 5. The Palace. Enter trumpets sounding. Then 2 aldermen, Lord Mayor, Garter, Cranmer, Norfolk with his marshal's staff, Suffolk, 2 noblemen bearing great standing bowls for the christening gifts. Then 4 noblemen bearing a canopy, under which the Duchess of Norfolk, godmother, bearing the child richly habited in a mantle, etc., train borne by a lady. Then follows the Marchioness Dorset, the other godmother, and ladies. The troop pass once about the stage, and Garter speaks.
Heaven, from thy endless goodness, send prosperous life, long and ever happy, to the high and mighty Princess of England, Elizabeth.
Flourish. Enter King Henry VIII and guard. Kneeling.
And to your royal grace and the good queen, my noble partners and myself thus pray. All comfort, joy, in this most gracious lady, heaven ever laid up to make parents happy, may hourly fall upon ye.
Thank you, good Lord Archbishop. What is her name?
Elizabeth.
Stand up, Lord.
King Henry VIII kisses the child.
With this kiss take my blessing. God protect thee, into whose hand I give thy life.
Amen.
My noble gossips, ye have been too prodigal, I thank ye heartily. So shall this lady, when she has so much English.
Let me speak, sir, for heaven now bids me. And the words I utter let none think flattery, for they'll find 'em truth. This royal infant, heaven still move about her, though in her cradle, yet now promises upon this land 1,000,000 blessings, which time shall bring to ripeness. She shall be, but few now living can behold that goodness, a pattern to all princes living with her, and all that shall succeed. Saba was never more covetous of wisdom and fair virtue than this pure soul shall be. All princely graces that mould up such a mighty piece as this is, with all the virtues that attend the good, shall still be doubled on her. Truth shall nurse her, holy and heavenly thoughts still counsel her. She shall be loved and feared. Her own shall bless her. Her foes shake like a field of beaten corn, and hang their heads with sorrow. Good grows with her. In her days every man shall eat in safety, under his own vine, what he plants, and sing the merry songs of peace to all his neighbours. God shall be truly known, and those about her from her shall read the perfect ways of honour, and by those claim their greatness, not by blood. Nor shall this peace sleep with her, but as when the bird of wonder dies, the maiden phoenix, her ashes new create another heir, as great in admiration as herself, so shall she leave her blessedness to one, when heaven shall call her from this cloud of darkness, who from the sacred ashes of her honour shall star-like rise, as great in fame as she was, and so stand fixed. Peace, plenty, love, truth, terror, that were the servants to this chosen infant, shall then be his, and like a vine grow to him. Wherever the bright sun of heaven shall shine, his honour and the greatness of his name shall be, and make new nations. He shall flourish, and like a mountain cedar reach his branches to all the plains about him. Our children's children shall see this, and bless heaven.
Thou speakest wonders.
She shall be, to the happiness of England, an aged princess. Many days shall see her, and yet no day without a deed to crown it. Would I had known no more. But she must die. She must, the saints must have her, yet a virgin. A most unspotted lily shall she pass to the ground, and all the world shall mourn her.
O Lord Archbishop, thou hast made me now a man. Never before, this happy child, did I get anything. This oracle of comfort has so pleased me, that when I am in heaven I shall desire to see what this child does, and praise my Maker. I thank ye all. To you, my good Lord Mayor, and your good brethren, I am much beholding. I have received much honour by your presence, and ye shall find me thankful. Lead the way, lords. Ye must all see the Queen, and she must thank ye. She will be sick else. This day no man think has business at his house, for all shall stay. This little one shall make it holiday.
Exeunt. Epilogue.
'Tis 10 to 1 this play can never please all that are here. Some come to take their ease and sleep an act or two. But those, we fear, we have frighted with our trumpets, so 'tis clear they'll say 'tis naught. Others, to hear the city abused extremely, and to cry, "That's witty," which we have not done neither. That, I fear, all the expected good we're like to hear for this play at this time, is only in the merciful construction of good women, for such a one we showed 'em. If they smile and say 'twill do, I know within a while all the best men are ours, for 'tis ill hap if they hold when their ladies bid 'em clap.
End of Act 5. End of Henry VIII by William Shakespeare.